Florida State, NFL, law school.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Put my shirt at, man.
I got you.
Hey family, listen, I want you.
I got you. Hey, listen, go ahead on tag and share. Listen, we got an exciting show today. Listen to me. It is exciting. I need you to tag, share. Let's get everybody in. Let's get everybody in. Let's get everybody in. We got an exciting show today. Okay. How's the campaign? Let's get everybody in. Let's get everybody in. Let's get everybody in today. Okay. Let's tag and share. Okay, let's get it on public. Okay, it's on public. Hey, listen, go ahead on the tag and share. Let's get everybody into an amazing. Hey, Nick Friesen, what's going on? Al Williams. Hey, man, big shout out to you, Al, man. I thank you so much for all you do in the community. Let's get everybody on, man. I'm excited about today's show. I'm excited to have in the studio with me. Hey, one of the things that I know is that is amazing is that life is filled with bounce back stories. And when you're able to bounce back, you're able to give hope to so many who have no hope. So listen, tag, share, get everybody in today. Go ahead on, let's get those numbers up. I'm going to be talking to two amazing gentlemen who got so much in common when it comes to helping and empowering our community. Al, how you doing, man? Listen, so get everybody in because this show today is going to be life-changing. When I say life-changing, I mean life-changing. So let's get everybody in. Let me go ahead on and make sure that our family is tuned in because it's getting ready to go down. So, Ken, man, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Man, listen, it's a blessing to see you. And Mr. Leroy, changing the world, Smith.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, man, listen, I'm glad to have you all, and I'm excited about what we're getting ready to do here today. Because this week is really a special week. So much is going on when it comes to Father's Day and Juneteenth.
Absolutely.
And man, we're going to talk about what you all got going on. That's going to be leading up to Juneteenth. Hey, tag, share. Listen, we are live. Let's get everybody in. Let's get everybody in. Because it's been to happen. It's been to happen. Yeah, man. So, Aaliyah, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, go ahead on the tag and share. Get everybody in. Let's get everybody in. Want to say good afternoon and once again welcome to Greg James Community Show right here on, that's right, Hallelujah 95.3. Hey, it's Wake Up Wednesday. Want to say good afternoon to all of you all, whether you're in your car, your motorcycle, your bicycle, and those of you who are riding a tricycle with headphones on tuned in. I'm glad to have you on Wake Up Wednesday. Want to say good afternoon to Sylvia Bradwell. Hey, tag all your friends, Sylvia. Let them know that the hottest talk show has just hit the airwaves. That's right. It's the Greg James Community Show. And so much is going on in and around our city. Certainly, we want to take time to pause for the loss of the law enforcement officer. And just want to pause for a moment in respect of him and his family and for all of those who serve on the behalf of all of us. So let's just pause for a moment. Amen. So certainly so much is going on in and around our city. And listen, one of the things that I do know that God is real. And I do know that healing comes to our land when we really place our eyes and when we place our heart in the right direction. No matter what we see that's going on in our community, change will come. Change must come. And it starts with you and I as individuals. We'll never have great church unless we have great individuals, and we'll never have great communities unless we have great individuals. So it takes all of us to do our part to make the necessary change that has to happen. So I'm excited about that. I could talk about so much that's going on in my 3-minute segment of what's happening in the city, but guess what? I feel today that I need to use every minute of this segment to talk to these two amazing men that are in my presence. And certainly I'm excited to have them. Why? Because both of them have amazing stories and they're doing some amazing work. And as we move into Juneteenth and Father's Day weekend, I'm excited to be able to have them in the studio with me. So for those of you who are listening to us by way of Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, I want you to go ahead and tag, share, get all of your friends in. Those of you who are on the radio, listen, call your friends. They need to be tuned in to 95.3. Why? Because this show is going to be informative, it's going to be informational, and it's going to be inspiring. And you're going to hear from two major voices that are doing things that are empowering men, boys, and not letting what they went through stop them from making the difference that they've been called to make. So I'm excited to have you, Mr. Leroy Smith. I'm excited to have you. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, and yourself. Appreciate you having me, man.
Man, I'm excited to have you, man, because you are doing so much, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and how all of that came about. And this is a great weekend that you all are looking forward to.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, Father's Day, Juneteenth. It don't get no better. You know, that's how that's a day of freedom, and you know, it's a day that fathers are celebrated. So we want to, you know, celebrate the fathers being back attached to the family.
Amen. Well, I'm excited about it, and certainly I'm excited to have in the studio with us none other than the legend. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just going to identify it like it is. Mr. Ken Alexander, man, how are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you for having me. So great to have his voice that you allowing us to echo in your footprints and talk about the things that are going on right now.
Man, I'm excited to have you. Not only am I excited to have you, but I'm excited to have the energy, and I'm excited to have the vision, the tenacity that you are displaying as you make a journey back into the community, back into the city, the state, even the nation. Because, you know, one of the things that I know is that it's only when we're able to sit in seats that others have not sit in that we can feel the pain that they are experiencing. And you know what it is. I mean, Florida State, NFL, law school, and I could say a fraternity brother. For those who don't understand what that means, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. but how does it feel at this moment to have this new journey or this new chapter in life?
Well, it feels like a new beginning, and the new beginning is it's kind of like a rebirth. The phoenix is a mythical bird that goes from a burning flame down to ashes and comes back up through those ashes. And I think this is my phoenix journey. This is when you build yourself up by the things that you set as your foundation in life. And no matter what disturbed it, it didn't disturb that foundation. Wow. So you shake off all of the dust, all of the ash, and you rebuild yourself just like the phoenix does.
Wow. And you know, what a great, I want to just a great analogy of how you look at life and even how you see your life. And I want to talk a little bit, and we'll get into that, a little bit about your experience, a little bit about why what you're doing now is so important, a little bit about what you saw that made Kean become a different Kean when he looked at life. Because you had it all. I mean, God forbid that I let him know that I had it all, because when they check the record, they're gonna see I have nowhere to lay my head. Birds have nests, foxes have holes. I'm a son of man. but man, and I wanna dive into that. But Leroy, I want to ask you something because we're talking about fathers. We're talking about what you all are preparing for this weekend that I think the community really needs to embrace and really needs to grab a hold to. Your passion has always been working with our young boys, making sure, not that they're good on the football field, but making sure that they're ready to prepare to run the plays that life is going to place them in positions of. Let's talk a little bit about where your journey has taken you.
You know, me coming from Quincy, Florida, rural area, I defied all the odds. You know, coming from a rural area, lived with my mom, basically, you know, had kids in high school.
Really?
So yeah, so basically I wasn't supposed to make it as far as I did. I was blessed to get a scholarship to Florida State, play professionally a little bit. So I was supposed to make it that far. However, I didn't have the guidance. See, my determination got me only so far. But if I would have had someone to guide me, I wouldn't have made those mistakes. So the Lord allowed me to go through those mistakes so I can help the next generation, because a man don't know how to be a man until he's seen a man.
Wow. You know, you said something, Ken, and I want you to echo this. You said, and you recognized that your mistakes came from a lack of having guidance in your life.
Yes.
How important is it, Ken?
It's very important. Like he said, a man don't know what a man is until you got the luxury of seeing what a man is. And a lot of us grew up in the 70s and 80s, didn't have that male role in the household. You had male role models and coaches, had male role models in your big brothers and your uncles. You had male role models, but not that father male role model. I think that's why the Cosby Show was so crucial in the 80s, because it showed a family that was intact, how a family is supposed to be. And even though the mother in the Cosby Show was the legal mind and the base of the family from a legal aspect, Clifford Huxtable was a doctor, and the doctor shows healing. And I think that foundation showed implicitly that we have to heal as a people. We got to go through this healing process with all the trauma that we've been through.
Wow. And so here's the key that I want you to pay. You said something that Cosby Show had. It had what real families look like. When we look at our community now, when we look at our world now, when we look at our educational system now, we must admit that the man is missing.
Yes.
And because the man is missing, the family is experiencing miserable living conditions. What must we do?
We must do what we're doing now, what you're doing, working for the community, being that staple in the neighborhood as a man, and not only as a man, as an African American man. And we must show them, you know, knowledge. People perish because lack of knowledge. We must show the younger generation, and even people at our age, this is what needs to be done, and we need to do it together. I can't do everything. Ken can't do everything. Pastor Gregory James can't do everything, but together collectively, somebody could be the leg, somebody could be the brain, somebody could be the arm, and we can work together collectively to get the mission complete, and that is restoring our communities with the Black males in the family.
Wow, I like that. And both of you all Florida State graduates, played football, both of y'all went to the NFL. A lot of our young men are aspiring in the area of sports. Let me ask you this, Ken, because I think this is so vitally important. What becomes that role model for that athlete, or who becomes that role model?
What I think the male community as a whole has to be the role model for that young African American, that young minority male. That male atmosphere as a whole. It can be a coach. It can be your teacher. It can be the man on the corner that comes to the park to show you how to bounce pass a ball, how to chest pass a ball, how to break right, how to break left in the football field. It has to be a collective, and that's why we're doing the thing on June 19th. I think it's prophetic that the collision of Father's Day and June 19th happened this year.
Wow.
1 year after they made it a federal holiday. And on the 19th of June, and let's don't get this confused. It is June 19th. It's not June 18th.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to recognize it on June 18th is the biggest slap in the face for us. You don't celebrate 4th of July on the 3rd of July. You don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo on the 4th of May. You celebrate on the 5th of May. So why take our holiday and make it a holiday and then say that we're going to celebrate it a day before the holiday actually is there? And they try to use the excuse of Father's Day. I think that collision, that Father's Day and Juneteenth is the more powerful collision. That's why we're calling it a Juneteenth celebration to fatherhood, to the family.
Wow.
And it's a family day of fun that we're planning.
Wow.
Absolute family day of good old outside fashion fun at a big lake, with all of the amenities there, with the canoeing, with the paddle boarding, with the beach volleyball, with the open fields to play tag, to play, do whatever you want to play, and put out card tables to play cards and dominoes, and to eat barbecue, and just to have a big community. We invite all of the people that's coming up for election to come out there and meet the community that's going to actually cast a ballot for them, so they can see them in other ways than a politician. Mm-hmm. They can actually see their human aspect. Correct. And ask them questions on a personal level. Yeah. What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? And they can get all of that jargon, that political jargon, out of the way, and actually push forward something that they can vote for or not vote for.
Wow. So this is happening this Sunday. Yeah. Tell us the location.
It's the Seminoles Reservation. It's and that in itself
is another message.
It says a whole lot.
Yeah, that's another
with the Black Seminoles and the runaway slaves and the Gully Wars that took place 100 years. Absolutely. with the back and forth, and they never got defeated. That union of blacks and Seminoles, that union has never failed. It has never faltered. And to have a Freedom Day with Father's Day at the Seminole Reservation, it speaks volume in itself with all of the significance that's around it.
But I mean, just listening to you, Ken, I think you said something that was that was very profound, and I think that a lot of people may have missed that. To be able to have this day on Father's Day will probably never, and I haven't looked through the scope of time to see what 2070 looks like.
Right.
But to see now that this is happening on this particular day is a prophetic move.
Yes.
We're talking about freedom, but we're talking about fathers as well. And we're talking about family.
Absolutely.
And what we need the most for the Black man is to understand the power of being a father that can operate in freedom. Absolutely. Because you have been set free.
Absolutely.
So therefore, why are you allowing yourself to remain a captive when you've been freed? You've been freed. And we cannot, and and you all can chime in, we cannot move our community forward unless we understand we're free. We are not in a place, God, I feel this in the Holy Ghost. We're not in a place to continue to keep doing business as usual and expect for our communities to get better. Yes, sir. Man, this is great.
Fathers are.
But let me say this: Sunday at 12 o'clock, Seminole Reservation. Somebody put that in the thread. Put it in there. What they need to bring?
They bring themselves and their good time. Bring themselves and their good time. We're gonna have a good old family fun day of outside fun and family.
Wow. All right. And I'm gonna come back to that because that says something. We have missed that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We have gotten away from that.
Yes.
We have steered, we detoured, and they fixed the road, and instead of getting off the detour and getting on the main road back, we stay on the detour.
Experiencing all of the unnecessary
bumps in the roads, all of the potholes, all of the pitfalls. When they fixed the road already, like you said, we are free. We are American citizens. The Constitution and all of the rights apply to us.
Now, Ken, let me ask you. You sure you ain't got no preaching license?
No, not at all.
But because, I mean, you made it so profound, man. And I think that until we get back on the road, we still going to experience gang violence. We still going to experience the teenage pregnancy. It's a pothole. We still going to experience the drugs.
The pothole comes from
Wow.
from slavery and the emasculation of the man.
Mm.
So it's stripped. So that's why we can't get back on the road, because the man is emasculated. He's stripped. He's stripped of being able to provide from his family, from being able to support his family. And so with that, the woman had to step up. And now that's where the pothole, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper with generation after generation after generation. So that's why we keep, because we're taught to do that, because of slavery. It had to start from somewhere. So as I did my research, the emasculation of the man. That's why mothers get most gifts on Mother's Day. Fathers get Happy Father's Day, Father.
Wow, and they really don't even get that, because they have not really understood the real power of a father.
That's right.
In your life.
That's it. The emasculation of the man.
Wow. Well, I want to detour because, Ken, you have your own story, and it's no military secret. But at the end of the day, I just believe, this is my own personal opinion, and this is how Greg James carried himself day by day. I never let no one devalue me because I had an experience in prison. You're not going to minimize me. You're not going to let a label limit me because I experienced that side of life, because I made choices. And with choices, there were consequences. But the greatest lesson that Greg James learned from that is how to survive, how to be able to empower others, even when you're in a place of captivity yourself, how to be able to correct the theology and the thought process of men who have no hope. And from that, Greg James became better, he became wiser, and he became stronger. And therefore, what takes the average person out gives me the power to keep going. Kind of like that battery that says you take a licking and keep on ticking. So let's talk just for a moment, because I'm sure that your experience of being incarcerated gave you a different view on life, because
Absolutely.
The money is gone, the fame is gone, the friends that you thought were friends are gone. Now it's just Ken and Ken. Tell us a little bit about that.
But it was, and the circumstance, I won't get into all the circumstances around it, but when you find yourself incarcerated and you land in that bed for the first time, which, if you call it a bed, if you land there for the first time, and reality sets in, and you start going into a depression, and you start thinking about all the things that you think was stripped from you, all the things that was said about you that made you feel like absolute animal, an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And then you start looking around, and you start looking at all of the other people that's there, and you started seeing their problems, and you forget about your problems. Mm-hmm. And I did not realize that the illiteracy rate was as high as it is. I mean, teaching people to get their GED while I was in there, and I probably got about 20 to 50 people to get their GED while I was in there teaching them. And I just really didn't know that a lot of people can't read, spell, or spell read. I mean, they're good with numbers.
Oh, yeah.
They're good with all of it. You can tell them an ounce, you can tell them a kilo, you can tell them all that. They're great with numbers, and they can eyeball numbers. But when it comes to the literacy value, and that's what I've seen as what my mission should have been while I was in there. And that opened my eyes up, and it made the time pass a little bit better, because I took the focus off me, and I put the focus on the people that I can potentially help. And that's what I did. I just poured into the people there.
And I want to say this, because that creates the momentum once a person is released, to say, I want to do more. I want to empower my community, because you're in a place of a desert, whereby if you don't provide the water for the people that's around you, they're going to die.
Absolutely.
And what's the water? The water is what gives life. And being able to go in and teach guys how to apply skills to get a GED gives them life.
Absolutely.
Being able to teach guys that, hey, you know, there's a better way to live life. That's water. That's giving life. So I want to say to you today, with the 15,000 that are listening to us, man, move in the calling that you've been called into. This is just the beginning this weekend that you all are planning. Is this the first big event?
This is the first big event with both of our 501c3s.
Wow.
And it's the first joint venture that we plan on having. This next joint venture is going to be a gala that launches Leroy Kells Foundation, which is another 501c3 that's put in place to overcome the trauma that we as a people have faced since 1619.
Wow. Well, I mean, I think that no better weekend than this weekend, Juneteenth, Father's Day. One of the things that I know you and I can really, really identify with, that being incarcerated, even though there are barbed wires, there are walls, there are cells, you can come to a place that even though I'm here, I have a sense of freedom that don't even make me feel or believe that I'm here. Why? Because I'm pouring into so many others and I'm seeing their lives change. And the problem that I have really is not a problem anymore. Right. I'm just waiting for the promise to be fulfilled. Absolutely. That I'll experience freedom again. Absolutely. So I want to applaud you for that. I mean, many people ask me, well, Greg James, you had life plus 40 years in federal prison. How did you do it? Well, after I got through being involved in gangs and after I got through doing all the other stuff that I was doing, and I decided to focus on helping people, the life plus 40 didn't even worry me because I saw men changing their lives. I saw men giving their lives to Christ. And so with that being said, Father's Day weekend is happening. Two amazing young men. Those of you who listen to the broadcast, write this down. It's happening at the Seminole Reservation, and it's beginning at 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock. You can bring the whole family. Let's talk about some of the activities that are going to be going on. I mean, I heard you say canoeing,
paddleboarding, beach volleyball. You know, it's not a cookout. It's not a celebration if we don't bring out cards and dominoes. You know, and have a good old barbecue. And just bring your good time with you. We got Diamonds in the Rough, Fit for Life, and Win-Win Foundation that are coordinating all of the activities there. And it's going to be a fun-filled afternoon, something that you can build on, take it home with you, and let it fester, and let those popular seeds sprout roots and grow.
Wow. So this is happening on Sunday evening now. Y'all mark this down on your calendar beginning at 12 to 7. You want to stop by the Seminoles Reservation. Don't act like no stranger. Just show up and say, family, I'm here. Because that's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to embracing each other, knowing that we are family. Well, I mean, you know, both of you young men have been able to, you know, go around the globe. You've seen what most people probably would never see. You've been able to experience some of the most elegant times in life. Let's look at where we are now as a community, as Black men, and as we see what's going on with our Black boys, as we see what's going on with all of this violence, with all of this gang. I mean, let's look at that, because this weekend is a weekend to really empower fathers, to celebrate fathers, and to really appreciate fathers for what they are doing.
Absolutely.
When we look at where we are now, is there any hope?
There's always hope.
Okay.
There's always hope. Like I said, we have to not try to do it ourselves and take one day at a time and do what we're designed to do, what we're ordained to do individually, but come together as men, and devise a plan. You know, without a plan, you plan to fail.
Wow.
So it's just like I treat it like I was a football coach. You know, I was a football coach.
Right.
But I treat everything even just like football, the football field.
Absolutely.
So you have to, you have your opponent. The opponent is the issue. The kid, the violence. You have to have your offense coordinator, defense coordinator, all those guys. You have to have a game plan to be able to defeat the opposition. So we have to get together as men. And construct the plan. Oh, you go over to the south side. You go over here to Holton Street. You go over here and talk to these kids, or Do you know somebody in those particular areas that has the ear of these young men?
Wow.
Then once we get them in a central location, we can almost control the narrative.
Wow. You know, I like what you said, and I want to challenge all of those who are listening to the broadcast. Don't ever minimize what you were good at doing, because what you were good at doing is going to help you solve the problem. Absolutely. You said, I was a coach. And so I take and put everything in the narrative of coaching. Well, you know, I ain't gonna tell you what I was. So at the end of the day, I use that same approach, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, now that I find myself in different situations, I'm thinking more now of how I would have thought if I was that guy and I was looking out for the robber or Jack, you know, all of that. Yeah. So therefore, I apply mindset and strategies that help fulfill to get me to the next level of how I need to take it. I believe that it's going to take men like you, Ken, and others that are sitting at the table, looking at this from a ground level, to say to those in seats of authority, now you really operating on the side of the road. We got to bring this plan
back to the
road.
Let's get into the road.
Let's get into the road.
Been repaired.
Yeah.
So let's go down the road that's been repaired. I think.
Oh my God.
I mean, the Bible is my base. I'm a Christian, and the Bible is my base of everything that's ever done, that's ever will be done, that's ever been said.
Absolutely.
And in the beginning, it said there was nothing, and God spoke into nothing and made everything. We're in that dark place right now as a community. We're at nothing. We got all this gang violence. We got all these shootings. We got all this robbing. We got all this stealing. We got all of this lack of accountability. And we are looking at it from the male point of view, from a female point of view, from a child point of view, from a pastor point of view, from a politician point of view. It's a lack of accountability. That's darkness. We need to find the light. And the only way that we can spark the light is to have conversations like this. Right. Is to have events like this. Right. To start the conversation, to spew that light from a candle to a flashlight, to a street light, to a spotlight, to a globe. Yeah. And make this thing light up. Get out of the darkness. If God can speak to nothing and make everything, we're God's people, so we can speak to nothing and make everything.
Wow! Listen, you said something, and I just want to chime in on that, because lack of accountability. When Adam failed to be accountable, it created total disaster.
Absolutely.
We have kids, children who are not accountable. We have parents who are not accountable. We have elected officials who are not accountable. There must be accountability. And I just believe, I'm just a firm believer in it, that, you know, I like the way the table is set, but I think we need to have some more seats at the table. And I think we have to have some more people who do have PhDs, but they understand a person who don't even have a GED.
Absolutely.
Because your life was transformed even the more when you experience, like we all say, sleeping on something that you felt like, how I'm gonna survive this.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I don't know, and this is our first time having a conversation, but I do know this, when we look at the environment, hey Janice, bless you, when we look at the environment of incarceration, when one population of that environment is affected, then every other population comes together to say, we have to unite with each other. If that means we're not going to the chow hall, for some of y'all who don't know what the chow hall is, it's the Red Lobster in your world, or it's the Harris, or it's the Wharf, or it's the Halo, Blue Halo, but that's the chow hall for us. When something does not go right in that system, we make a decision that we're not eating breakfast, we're not eating lunch, we're not eating dinner until the problem is fixed. Well, it may be happening with the Aryan Brotherhoods, but they are part of our family. And when the problem gets fixed, we might go back to feud with them. But in the meantime, did you
absolutely
address that?
And that's in the child hall is where you're pulling the purse strings.
Absolutely.
And that's what they done figured out, that everything has a dollar value to it.
Mm.
If you don't do this, it's a dollar value that's not coming in here. If you don't do this, it's a dollar value that's not coming in here. And what the warden don't want to do is lose its value, because if they lose its value, then you got all of these COs, you got all of these people that work in administrative, you got all these people that are counting on you to run this facility, and it's not running because they have stopped. And if they stop, well, why have you stopped? And now those reasons have to be addressed. And it just like it is in there, it is outside.
Talk, sir.
You have to put a clog in the system and not let the system work like usual, because as long as the system is working like normal, the people at the top don't think there's not a problem.
Absolutely.
It's only when they hear the squeaky wheel is that, hey, we got to get some oil. We got to get some brakes. We got to get some rollers. We got to get some suspension on this thing. This car is about to break. We hear the wheel squeaking and it's not working like normal. But you got to be that squeaky wheel in this society. You
got to be it. And Leroy, I'm going to come to you, but I want to stick a pin in there because you said something that was key. The chow hall in the bureau prisons is the value system. It's one of them. It's the biggest one. And when people are not going there, then the office in DC headquarters want to know what's going wrong. And they're going to fly in and they're going to interview guys to find out what the problem is. And we are going to get results. Why? Because we unified. We came together. Why is it hard for us to do that as, oh God, I'm on Christian president. Okay. Why is it hard for us to do that?
Because we were never treated. We went through a traumatic 400 years, went through another traumatic 100 years, went through another traumatic 40 years of slavery, Jim Crow, then segregation. And now we're living off of those traumas that were never treated. You don't go through a mass shooting right now without getting a whole host of psychologists going in there to treat people psychologically to get them back from where their mental state is from that trauma to back to a reality what they were before the trauma.
So, oh wow, I gotta stick a pin there. So all of the gang violence that we see, all of the murder that we see is coming from a lack of treatment.
A lack of treatment.
My God.
We were never treated.
Never treated.
Dr. Joe DeGroy, she terms it post-slavery syndrome.
Yeah.
And that post-slavery syndrome, she said that you can't just cover it up and expect not that dirt to come back and hurt you in the long run. You can't just cover it up. You have to treat that dirt. You have to vacuum all that dirt out. You have to get it out the way so that things can get back to a normal basis and you can grow from that normal basis. But if you grow from something that's been bastardized, all you're gonna do is get bastardized fruit.
Wow. You know, I'm always elated. I'm always overwhelmed with joy when I'm having these kind of conversations with men like yourself and Leroy. I'm always excited when I'm able to bring men to the table for the conversation. And here it is. It's Juneteenth. It's Father's Day, and it's a combination of a prophetic day that is happening in the world. And you all have come together on Juneteenth to celebrate both in one day, because that's how it lands, at the Reservation from 12 to 7. Two 501c3 organizations coming together to say, bring the family out. That's why they're here on Greg James Community Show. They're inviting you, the public, to join them at the Seminole Reservation for an evening of fellowship, fun, and family, and celebrating fathers. But here's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is this, those of you who are listening to this broadcast. These men have amazing stories. These are men are like so many others who, if our problems in our community are going to get fixed, these are the men that we've got to empower. They're doing the work, but they don't have the resources. But that's not going to stop us from doing the work, because we've seen so much pain. And out of all the pain that we've seen, it has birthed a purpose for us to have meaning in our communities.
Absolutely.
Would you say that, and I'm going to come to you, Leroy, because I need to hear you, but would you say that even after your experience of being in incarceration, your life has taken on a different mantle?
Absolutely. Stokely Carmichael said it best when he said, "There's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come."
Oh my
An
God.
idea whose time has come. I don't know if I had to go through what I went through in order to infuse the hunger back into me with the 501c3s. I made my 501c3 in 1999. And it's been well over 20 years that I've been 501c3 certified. I've certified other 501c3s to establish the things that I seen that was needed back in 1989 to get done now. And they have been going, they've been proliferating, they've been growing, and they've been growing. When I came back as the group 501c3 leader, I called all of the 501c3s that are under me, and I made sure that one, that everybody was doing their taxes, two, that everybody was still certified, and three, that everybody still had that purpose and that mission that they set forth so many years ago. Couple of them had went stagnant, had went stale, had went dormant, and it was because of Corona. The pandemic played a whole part in a lot of things. But now we got the ball rolling back. We got that ball up that hill, and now we just got to get a good shove to get it to roll down the hill and to pick up all the things that we left during the pandemic, pick up all the things that we left during that dormant stage, and pick up all those things. Like I said, an idea whose time has come is the most powerful thing that you can ever imagine. And I think our idea has its time right now.
Wow. Wow. I mean, you was been to chime in. I mean, an idea whose time has come. I mean, I should have got with you when I was putting my slogans together. Okay, but I'll keep working for you. All right, come on. Man, oh my God.
I just know we had all these things
Wow.
that were taking place, all these traumatic issues that were taking place individually, all these things that were going on. But COVID exposed, it made it broader.
Absolutely.
It affected not only the Black community, the white community, the Caucasian community, everybody. So now the real issues are on the forefront. The real issues are on the forefront. And it's now anxiety is a disability now.
Wow.
Anxiety is a disability now because COVID exposed everything. Everything. So now I feel as though, like you said, the real man have to come to the forefront to be the real leaders. Whatever your passion is, whatever your purpose is, you walk in that purpose, holding hands together with other people walking in their purpose. And that's how the communities are going to change. That's how we're going to get that therapy. They're going to see what it is. We're going to be able to provide the resources. And then the people in the seats are going to be forced to give us more resources because we're going to be making so much impact on the community.
Wow.
That's how. That's just the way it is. That's just the way I see it because I'm up all night doing research. But COVID exposed everything. Is this the world had to shut down? People had to deal with themselves. Took away the money. Took away everything. You couldn't go to work. You had to deal with self. So people were incarcerated.
Wow.
The whole world.
The whole world was incarcerated.
God said, "Stop,
sit down,"
and everything stopped. And everybody looking at it like that was the wrong decision to make. That was the wrong But if you look at all of the blessings of that shutdown, the ocean got cleaner, the air pollution got less of the air pollution. People started dealing with family issues instead of just sweeping them under the rug. And when they couldn't deal with them, they got professional help to deal with them. Things that we've just sidestepped, and that we said, hey, that's a problem, but it's not a problem. All of that got exposed, like the spotlight got on it through the pandemic. And that pandemic is a blessing and it was a curse. It was a curse in the fact that over 1 million Americans have died. And more than 10 million have been affected with long COVID, because of all of the residuals that they don't even know about yet. And you got all of these things that you're dealing with now that you're forced to deal with now. And it was a force. It was a shutdown and it was a force to deal with it. Wow. Like you said, everybody was incarcerated. So I guess the brotherhood has grown.
Hey, Hey, they got early release though.
They're absolutely compassionate.
Yeah. But man, I really applaud you all, and I applaud you, Ken, for you said something that I thought was just beyond my imagination. You said you reached out to all of those 501c3s that was established up under you after you were released to say, hey, where you are, what you're doing. You're still passionate about it. You're still fulfilling the purpose because the mission was planted in you in 1999.
Absolutely.
But you was on the side road.
Absolutely.
So God said, let me get you back on the main road.
Get you on the highway.
Yeah, get you on the highway. Because I put it in you and you have ignored it.
The highway is finished.
Yeah.
Get back on the road.
Get back on it. So I want to applaud you for not coming back feeling as though I can't return to the mission, the mandate, and the mantle that God has given me.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, I'm returning with a different authority and a different anointing, and I'm making a different announcement. So you got to hear what I'm saying. Now, if you want to continue to look back at what happened, then that's on you. I'm moving forward.
Absolutely.
We are going to deal with that. But here's what I want to encourage you to do. Keep doing what you're doing. Because we need more voices. We need more men that don't let what I went through define me.
Absolutely not.
It was a defining moment, but it did not define who I am as a
Person.
man and a person.
Absolutely.
So this weekend, I got to shout it out again. I'm coming back with my jeans, short pants on, my flip-flops. I'm coming back. I'm just being me. And I'm going to have on my shirt.
Absolutely. Be ready to answer a whole lot of questions. There's a whole lot of voters are going to be there.
All of it. So I'm excited about what you all are doing, man. And I applaud Pastor Judy and Dr. Kwanda for, you all being on yesterday. And I feel like when we have messages that have to get out, I think we've got to take advantage of every opportunity that someone who looks like us got a mic and got a show to get that message out, because we want to empower our people. And so we've got to be able to do what you say, unite, so that we can create the voice that needs to be created. You're out of coaching, but you're still coaching. What does the new Leroy Coach Smith looks like now?
The new Leroy Coach Smith is basically creating a mentor, career developmental system that extends from the personal level, professional level to grade school. So basically, we're gonna create pathways for kids to do what they feel like they want to do in life. That's the new coach. So if a kid wants to be a lawyer, we're gonna hook them up with lawyers or aspiring lawyers or a law firm, so they can have pathways and they have guidance, support into the field they want to be in, because that's what everyone needs is support. So they need accountability partners. They need a support system to help them get them to point A to point Z, not point A to point B, point A to point Z. Because sometimes, people think they're supporting you and they're not really supporting you. Sometimes, so basically that's what I see myself in, basically coaching their character.
Wow.
I coach character, accountability, diligence, perseverance, because those are things you want to take throughout everything in life, because every day is not going to be peachy. You're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days.
So, wow, let me say this, because I think this is so important. Are you doing this for a paycheck?
No.
You don't get paid to do this kind of stuff. It's a part of the mission.
It's a part of that.
There's no dollar amount that can be put on.
No dollar.
So when people see you doing what they're doing, it's not about the money.
Nah.
It's about the purpose that God has put in your spirit.
I know I was put here to do what I'm doing.
And normally it costs you more to do it.
Yes. I take kids. I just took 21 kids to Las Vegas. First time the kids been on a plane on a college tour. and then to the Los Angeles Raiders Stadium on the field. And the coaches asked me, man, you must love those kids. I said, nah, this is my passion. This is my purpose.
Wow. And guess what happens? You have changed their trajectory
Yes.
of how they see life.
Yes.
So when you see us out here with 501c3s that are not getting funded and we asking you to support, it ain't because I need you to pay my car note.
No.
It ain't because I need you to help me go to dinner. No, it's because I need you to help me facilitate empowering the young men that I can keep a gun out of their hands.
Absolutely.
Or I can keep from behind a prison bar, or I can keep out of a store from being robbed. So we have to understand that when you're supporting African-American men or not with nonprofit, you ain't empowering them to live a lavish lifestyle. I mean, because that's how we feel.
Because that's actually a choice you have to make. I came out, it's basically starting from zero. And everything in me was saying, hey, focus on career, focus on career, focus on career. Forget about all that nonprofit stuff. Forget about all this. Focus on you, focus on career. You know that the What's in It for Me network?
Right.
You know, that instead of being that What's in It for Me network, I changed it, you know, after going to sleep one night, finally being able to sleep after about 2 or 3 weeks of being out. They've been able to sleep through the night and not jumping at every crick and every crack that you're looking at. I told myself, hey, you have to start with a foundation of where you were helping other people. Because when you was helping other people, you found other opportunities for yourself.
That's right.
And that's right. Nothing but God. That's prophetic, but it's nothing but God. I'm going to help you people that help the least of these. And the ones that help the least of these, you are a true servant. And you being a true servant, that's the greatest title that you can have. Not president, not CEO, not rich, not this, not that. Servant. That's what you want to hear when you get out of here.
That's right.
Servant. Job well done.
Well done.
That's what you want to hear. I mean, in until you go through life and life put that sermon in your heart, servant well done, you don't understand that sentence.
That's right.
When you understand that sentence, all this other stuff becomes just protocol, logistics. Okay, I don't have the money to do this, but we're going to put it on anyway, and we're going to go with a hope and a prayer that we're going to get the money to pay for it. We're going to go with a hope and a prayer that we're going to get this to pay for that.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go with a hope and a prayer. You put out the sponsorship packages. You ask for the donations. But if the donations come or not, this event has to happen. And they have to see each other. And we have to get back to where we are a community. Wow. Community is the biggest thing. And that's the brightest light that we can shine. Wow. And like I said, we're in a dark period. So we got to shine the light.
Wow. Well, listen, I tell you, man, this has been an amazing moment here. And certainly I am excited about what you all are doing. And I was just listening to you with the few minutes that I have left, Coach Leroy. I was just listening to you and with so much excitement, with so much passion, with so much purpose, talking about what you're doing now and how you're coaching character and how you're coaching perseverance and how you're coaching diligence. And I said to myself, I recall ministering to you one Sunday at church. And I heard the Lord say to you that you will not be coaching at the school anymore. You remember that?
Absolutely. I remember clear as yesterday. I just had a great season, coach of the year. About to get a raise, and you know, Greg James, Co-Pastor James was doing this thing up there. You know, great word, and he just stopped and called me up to the front and told me I wasn't going to be coaching anymore. I'm going to God going to elevate me to something bigger. It's going to be nationwide, and it's in 2 weeks later I got fired.
And he stopped coming to church.
I was like, man, Pastor, but that was the best thing to ever happen because I've only elevated.
Absolutely.
Organizations elevated, kids have gotten more scholarships.
Absolutely.
I've been getting kids from all over the country.
It's amazing.
We've done things in Jamaica. So man, I appreciate you ministering. I appreciate you obeying God to tell me
Amen.
what I needed to hear.
Amen.
The message that he had for me through you.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
so I appreciate that.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I don't know if too many people tell you that, but I appreciate it.
Well,
You being obedient.
yeah, absolutely. And it was a tough moment for him because after he got fired, he called me and said, man, I can't believe I done got fired. I said, well, I don't know how God was going to do it, but I'm just celebrating. Hey, listen, it's been a great show right here on the King James Community Show. Ken Alexander, Leroy Smith. It's happening this Sunday at Seminoles Reservation. It's the big Father's Day, Juneteenth weekend celebration from 12 to 7. Hey, make plans to join me. I'm going to stop by. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Hey, until next week, Wake Up Wednesday, I want you to live an amazing life, walk in the favor that God has called you to walk in, and remember, something great is happening to you when? Right now. Until next week, be blessed. Hey, family, if that was really a blessing to you, I want y'all to really, somebody said, hey, listen, I appreciate y'all. Don't forget now, Sunday, it's happening at the Seminole Reservation. Just bring your family on out from 12 to 7. Lots of food, lots of fun, lots of game. I'm going to look forward to seeing you all there. All right? Be blessed.